Hey, what's up guys? It's Marf and welcome back to another Asphalt 9 video. Today we are taking a look at the Koenigsegg AGERA RS. Now you might be confused because I did make a video about this car already a really long time ago, in fact, and that car was at max. However, that was when the car released, and so it was during a limited test environment, so I wasn't in multiplayer. So today I took it out into the wild in Ghost multiplayer, of course in Legend League, and gave it a fair shot. Now, this is at 4 stars, so it's not completely representative of what you'll get out of this car because there is still 2 stars of performance being left on the table, but I do have to say my experience was pretty mixed, but it's not for the reason you might think. Now, looking at this car objectively, it is one of the best cars in Asphalt 9. It's one of the very few that can go over 300 miles per hour, although that list of cars is slowly growing over time and with each new drive syndicate, but nonetheless, it is one of the fastest cars in the game. But if we turn our attention to the handling, that's where we run into a couple of issues. Now, again, it's not horrendous. Most cars at this rank in S-Class do have pretty good handling, but they will have much sharper handling compared to this car. And that is one of the biggest dilemmas about this car, because if you look at the Clash store, this is not the only Koenigsegg that you can buy. You can also get the Koenigsegg Jesko. And so if you're deciding between these cars, I would absolutely recommend the Jesko over this car. It'll give you pretty similar performance in every single area, but handling where it is much better than this car. So I would definitely recommend going with the Jesko instead of this car if you don't have either of them. Now, let's say you already have the Jesko, and so you're thinking, okay, do I also want to unlock this car? Now, in my case, I wanted to unlock this car because it is a legendary car. I mean, I've seen these in real life. They're so freaking cool. It broke the speed record. It is one of the coolest cars in Asphalt 8, so I just had to get this car. I already had the Jesko, so I was like, why not? But if your Jesko is only at 1, 2, 3 stars, I would absolutely focus on starring that car up even more, because again, just taking a look at this car in 4 stars, I don't think it is really worth it if you already have some other really good S-Class cars and you still have room to grow with your Jesko. So again, just to summarize for those 2 situations, if you don't have either of those cars, focus on the Jesko. If you have the Jesko at low stars, still I would focus on starring up the Jesko instead of unlocking the AGERA RS. Now, the other reason why unlocking this car is a very tough decision, and of course, you know, the Jesko being there doesn't help, is because of the current situation in multiplayer. Now, I think I'm going to save this topic for another video because it is a pretty big discussion, but you'll notice that most of the races in this video are 1v1s, and I was only successful in winning a couple of those 1v1s. Either someone was playing with a car that just didn't fit the track and I just happened to take advantage of that, or someone messed up a bit or something like that. But for the most part, which you might see in this video because I didn't get a lot of footage, unfortunately, I did lose a lot of 1v1s because if someone was playing with a high-star Jesko, Tuatara, Bolide, Venom F5, or any of the high-end S-Class cars, I lost universally because this car's stats cannot keep up with the other cars in this game that are at the top of S-Class. So again, Jesko, Tuatara, even the Bugatti Chiron puts up a pretty good fight compared to this car. So unfortunately, because of the state of multiplayer right now, at least on iOS, playing with this car exclusively is not really a good idea. I actually had to get back to Legend League after losing, I think, over like 200 rating, just trying to get footage for this video because I was losing so many races. But it wasn't really my fault because the cars that I was facing were max Venom F5s, max Tuataras, and unfortunately a 4-star AGERA RS is just not going to keep up statistically with any of those cars. Yeah, of course, if you're facing a low-skilled driver, you could potentially pull out a victory, and I believe I did that once or twice, but overall, those cars are just going to perform better. So again, if you can go for the Jesko, I would definitely recommend that. If you already have it unlocked, even at 1 or 2 stars, just focus on starring up that car. It's going to be a much better value for your currency. But if you already have a max Jesko and you have all the other cars in the Clash store, then like, yeah, sure, of course you should unlock this car. I mean, again, it is a good car to have. Again, this is only at 4 stars, so I can imagine if you max out this car, it might perform better. And honestly, that's where my tough decision comes in because I believe I have both the Jesko and the AGERA at 4 stars. So now I'm kind of stuck deciding which one I want to star up, but I'll probably go with the Jesko. Overall, it's super nice to play with this car, and of course I love it because it is legendary and it's so iconic, so how could I not unlock it? And hey, maybe in Ghost Slipstream it might be a bit better, although again, you're still going to have to contend with the Tuataras, Jeskos, Bolides, all those other cars like that. So that will still be a problem if you have this car only at 4 stars, so I don't think there's a need to specifically test that for another video. So overall, this is a good car, it just isn't good enough, and that's quite unfortunate because, like I've said throughout this video, this is one of the most legendary supercars or hypercars of all time. But of course, I want to hear what you guys think of the Koenigsegg AGERA RS. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys later.